Sena Shoja Kanjana Nadi Chankanya Navi Dasa Tanya Mambayana Kanseva Shiva Tedayanda Sambaji Ajanta Namji Sanje Santa Chikulan Tera Danyam Shavi Aye Katan Dana Janka Dada Me Kanam Dan Kanje Dakaja Kadu Daka Chudan Oh yeah. Ta nga so yang ken zomba la samde take dele sure.
I would like to extend Dashite Lake that we once again gathering here.
Ta tene nga so sama ni jinane nga so sama la jiyo binane ta tangwa samde sone rarig nga som setela thur.
We discussed about two main types of valid cognitions, which is direct valid cognitions and inferential cognitions, and then we also discussed about four types of subdivision of direct valid cognitions, which are sensory direct perception and mental direct perceptions and yogic direct perceptions. Those three we already discussed, and now final one is that we are going to discuss.
Ta rang ngosam se de so jeba wasinare Thomar Kasarwo chini songkan de lopan shoji langbare sonsa de tsamakan le tibare.
The fourth and final direct perception is self-awareness perceptions, which initially explained by Acharya Dignaka in Pramana Samuchaya.
No, tela kanson resede tokpa anrang nye dos tonla mayen te tok chersen. Ta tsamakan tiga nalo ne rangosum tsikti tongkyor.
In Pramana Samuchaya, that explaining about the self-awareness or direct perception is kind that says in text is even the conceptual mind also self-direct perceptions in terms of its internal experience.
Tati kavla topa son diga masu telan desi jombi kavla jangwa chura jasu rejik karte travach kone do chala sopa rang rikpa ngosum yena topi hiba ngosum yadan yersena den des topi hiba ten chujan rang ngo sarik che tela rang rikpi ngosum yadan do te tela topa da trasha mantra vayibi chero sene o desi trichini nare.
So in order to explain such a statement from Dignaka that Karmapa 7 Churajatso detailed explain about this topic, that even though the conceptual mind, such like attachment, so on, this all conceptual mind also self-direct perceptions in terms of in its internal experience, not object, not external object, right? Rather, experiencing its own self-presence, or internal self or experiential presence. So, in terms of that, the all conceptual mind is is self-direct perception.
Tene don la mayen de to shir se de la kandi songkyo se de reshi kandi kyong ko se de don yor la na ngon sa mayen de se on de pe na tanda do chak ta wi nam to chi ki yor long chit parnger de ra wo de la ngon sa ma se de la ngon sa ma re se de la to pa yin be shar se
So here questions, right? The conceptual mind, if self-direct perception, then why it is conceptual? So here answer is that all the conceptual mind is carry the imagination of object. So in terms of awareness to objects, so that means conceptual mind is not direct perception in terms of aware of its external object. So that's why self-direct perception is kind of little bit difficult to understand this topic. For example, if we taking one single example, when we think about our home or our house, so that particular mind is conceptual mind. Because at that moment, the object of such a mind is somehow not directly appearing, because the whatever your mind perceive is direct perceiving phenomena is imagination. So that's why when you think about your home, that is conceptual mind. But that moment, that conceptual mind also recognize, also aware of itself. So in terms of that, it is also direct perception.
don't you can't share your money.
So once this conceptual mind aware of itself, so there's no any distractions or obscurations such as imagination. There's nothing imaginations between itself.
The Koranga Koran Musan Yovati, don't you the Mandi Vajik Musandiga Topa Tatras. Then Koran Musambati Nori or Mari, Churi or Mari, then the Koranga Koran Musan Surte Topa Tatras, Mantarva. Koranga Koran on some the Musangadu, son, what is on your.
So all the conceptual mind recognize or experience or aware of itself in terms of internal experiential phenomena. So there's no imaginations that obscure between subject and object. So that pointed out that all the conceptual mind is self-direct perception in terms of internal experiencing phenomena.
Oh, dear. That la Koranga Korang Musaya de Radandan Jer Mebate, that Saman Amdraganala Yang, Jedoni Dandi Donda, the Saman Amdri Givers Akiore, the Koram Roshana, Dandi Sama Kuntigan Dort and his own Javate, Saman Amdrik, sorry, Givers on Giore. The Givers on the Danda Rangang Monsum the Tongare, Tani Doncha the Madivare, say a day, Saman Amdraganana, Sarvozoyala, Rangang Dadanman, the Shertela, the Monsum Seni, Kungma Jumsangatani, Tani Doncha the Mandivi, Monsum Jimba, Songayore.
Pramana Samuchaya, composed by Dignaga, briefly talk about that conceptual mind is also self-direct perception in terms of internal experience. So such a topic is detailedly explained by Pramana Vatika, that conceptual mind is direct perceptions in terms of its internal experience or self presence phenomena. So that is having without imagination, not associated with the names labeling imaginations. Such thing is direct perception. So detailedly discussed in Parmana Vatika.
Then Samakundi Raganala, Tendi Cheon this, Hiba Chik Pashok Yer Tian He, then Sosung over Tian Hiaga, then Hitzer Niyongres on Tela, Yeshi Badan de Hivi, Ye Louis Chuni near Senem. Then Hiba Chik Dujila, Yer Yang Hi Yoba, Konanga Ngo, Konanga Yam Senua. Oh, Tendiga, Tene, Hitzer Niyongres and Lobashoji de Sonre.
So the conclusion is that, all the conceptual mind has two aspects of awareness. The first awareness is awareness of the external object. And second awareness is awareness of internal experiencing phenomena itself, self-presence, self-experiential presence. So that means all the conceptual mind has two aspect of characteristic, that is experiencing external object and at the same time it experiences its own nature, its own presence, its own experiential internal phenomena.
Te tama rikpi dhvya te la ta dhvshi yahyu dhawo te drambi taakse ne. Dramba gyumtsan de she ne. Lo tiga yor higa yoba dang, rang ngowa higa yoba te, drambi taakla te ne toktab kare, sonya te la dhvshi dramba le kyang te se ne. Dhvshi se ngo de, Once you're young, go, do she said the genie. Then Tranji Yoba. There is on the Mama Domena, Tramba said the Yomari. Tramba said the one Shivachi Trambalaco, the genie, you get Trambalaco over it. Then they on the one Himena, Genie Tramba Yokumari. Yenaya, Trayando, Ason, what the Tala take on him, Adruku.
When we talk about that, all the conceptual mind has two aspects of awareness, external object awareness and awareness of the internal experiential presence. So these two aspects is proved by, the recollections, or recalling, remembering the past experience. Through that proof that conceptual mind has two aspects of awareness. For example, if you don't have experienced the things, that is impossible to recollect, right? So whatever you recollect, that means you experience it before, right? You experience the things before. So without experience any form of object, it is impossible to recollect, remember. Then come to the point. Whatever things you recollect, that is you experience before. So once we recollect whatever things, that means you experience of that particular things. So we recollect two things, that object, also same times the awareness of object, both. So that means you experience external object also, internal experience also. You already experience or you already aware of that. So it makes all the conceptual mind has two aspects of awareness.
Tati pen rogu tani samnatana kari sangor sediga tanda tingman langi ta ngaransu na trambi tramba seyonde kiransu tamchi ke susu na dari re sambato semi khari yorwa. Ti semi khari yorwa ti susu na semla khari sem de tanda trankadwa.
For example,
nga tadi tikabla ane tadi sosu na tadi samna tansong sambaji yongdo o ta de songyor de danda trankando wa songor tamma tadi chongwa de.
So Khenpo giving example that you remember that I had awareness of thoughts that imagined my home. So in present moment, you recollecting that particular thoughts, right? So that means you experience of that particular object, and also you had a experience of that particular awareness also.
다 양 야거 키바티 수나나 파열 키바티 수나나 라르 키멜랭카 망고요리 콘수 텔라 가레 라인 야카데 세디가 티캅 그 히바 트라이오 마레스 제네 트라이한테 열때 트라는 거 또 야레 대탐비 히바지 요서레 삼바지 gemsang tane chima samno taya marto musu tani hibati koran tran yo mare sene lan jakan chi yore
There's a various explanations, but some Indian scholars that don't accept the self awareness or self direct perceptions. Those Indian logicians claimed or explained that whatever you remember, whatever you recollect, is just you recollect the external, the object that you experience of experience it. You didn't or you don't really recollect the awareness. Just you recollect the object, external objects. That by recollecting external object, through that you just think that there is such a awareness that experience the external object. So this dispute also being in early Indian scripture.
다 대소 제도 장게 시야데 가르셔 요바 하고야레 말도 다 소수 따야레 나랑게 나 덴디 연 삼비 남도치 띵하나 정성 삼바 트라이온 위칼라 조데 열대 장근도가 나랑게 히베데 장근도 데 소수 따거다
Whatever dispute may be in this topic from Indian scholars, logicians, the point is, point here is just examination by self. So you can examine yourself that when you're recollecting the past thoughts, so that whether it is recollecting the external object only, or you recollect awareness also. So that is the point, that you can examine and taking analysis by yourself.
다 때레지온데 소소 너리지 삼노다나 알레 뭐니 트라이아데 열대 트라네 알레 다테 열 니셈라 혀서 다셈 열 혀서 셈 직디깔로 요서레 삼마로 마도 팔체 셈 거랑 우스 알레 데딘도 삼바로지 trunk maybe so that you are sosuta onde
when we think about ourselves, that recollecting the past, it seems there's no recollection of self-awareness. It seems. That's.
Oh yeah,
you agree that?
Tatani Tikala candidate of go city. Tikala condition to go city. Tangaso Tijin Perna Savi Kaula Zupola is a trauma double living. Tramu Kaula Zupola is a mela so betrothed double leon digger Lula Chipoda was a young door. 기부도 오지 용거여와 대 되네 솔바리 대가는 이제 삼노들이 지당다 되게 다 삼노 땅땅 지게 깝깔라 나와 기부요 깝깔라 녀도 차야 마이키 바지용도 대영 솔바리 단다 미히 나히 지히 류히 대소라 용화대 라 류처세 그래 솔바리 되는 가서 남도 그 삼노 땅이 너네 기보다 마이키 바용화대 샘처세 그래 대소 솔바리 돼요 다 땅 대직 무슨나 되네 양 랑르코라 펜토 침버시거
So, in order to understand about the self-direct perception, self-direct cognitions, here we think about 2 points, that sensory direct perceptions and mental cognitions. When we experience that, the pleasant experience by our body or by our sensory perceptions, such conditions that the heat weather, the duration of heat or warm or something like that conditions, if we experience of the air conditions, so that kind of pleasant feeling is, includes in sensory perception, sensory direct perceptions, that feeling. And then when we mentally think about certain point, and sometimes it occurs disturbance, sometimes it occurs with the pleasant things. So that moments, whatever you experience is mental cognitions, part of mental cognitions. So now that 2 moments we will analyze whether is there self-direct perception or not. We must analyze on that. That's all.
다 된대 지원데 빼나 당고 영어 karmapa 드니 이슈 키랑서 야한자 되지 지원데 설와기 후레가 지요와데 단다 제용도
For example, yesterday happening, incident such a Karmapa, you met a Karmapa, right? So on that moment you experience very pleasant or very blissful experience that you had. So today you recollecting that moment or not?
다 디가 그 설와기보 직레가디 히바레데요. 판잔도야디 영화 karmapa 거레데요. 열디 되니 여전 될 때네 설와기보 직레가디 히바레데요. 당가서 단데 히바디 코나 장근도.
So that means today we are recollecting 2 things. Karmapa, yesterday's Karmapa, and sometimes your experience also. You recollect your experience. So Karmapa is external object that you recollect today. And you recollect that yesterday's yesterday's experience, pleasant experience. So that is not an external object. That is part of awareness. That is mental function or mental state. So you recollecting not only external object, You both, subject and object, and awareness and the object of awareness, external object. Also, both you recollecting today.
Tende chingong diga ta khasa ngaso jul sorwa kipo lewe de ngaso marto sachi gha koyo ma soso marto sachi gha koyo ma te tanda chayong diga tanda sorwa khona chayong diga sorwa de ngaso ngarang tikabla to gore ma to ngarang tikala ma to na sorwa de chayo ma.
So, the today you recollecting that pleasant experience that yesterday you had is nobody of recollecting that. Only you recollect, right? So that means yesterday experience was just experienced by yourself, the individual experience. So that means unless nobody experience, unless you. So whatever you recollecting is somehow you must experience before. It must be previous, experience. So that sense, you are not recollecting only external object. Also, you're recollecting your awareness, your experience that you had previous moment. It pointed out that there is a recollection of external and internal both.
다 tani yang tisu tong jik pen do shang na ko de jik yong gore pen na nga so ta nyeng gong chawa chenpo ka la shalo la song de ge long jang de ge ta pen na second ji ni ge rang la tani ki bo do cha ge
When you going outside in very hot weather, then instantly you experience certain air conditions that made you pleasant moment, right? So that you experience pleasant pleasure. So that's all.
di jene ko ga ro ge
So eventually that moment will be ceased.
yena yo jima samno jik ta won de ge chan yo do
And afterwards, that it lies in your memory, or you recollecting that incident or that happening.
tende jing de dengi ga di to re se de ko yo bi ka la to ya mar to me bi ka la to ya yo ma ro.
So once you, when you recollect that past incidents, so here question is, when you experience of that, yeah, the present is just memory, right? So when you experience, that means obviously you experience in past. So that experience, that awareness, you just remember now or recollecting now. That's all.
tende jing de ge ngarang ge ju ki hiba ji sorwa rang da dinima yo bi ngarang ge ju ki hiba ji sorwa de ngon sum de nyam sun yo yo ba ta jin ni chan yo do.
So that means you remembering, recollecting that awareness of experience in past.
nga so drama de yang chang ge yo re la drama de la de ne nga la ki bo chong de chang ge ki bo chong de la sorwa la ge yo de chang ge yo re de ne yo chang ba re la yo ma de khona yo chen re do ro sorwa se di.
So since you recollect not only air conditions, but also you're recollecting experience of, experience of air conditions. So experience of air condition is not external subject, external object. So that means you recollecting external object, same time you recollect the awareness of external object, which is internal self-presence.
Tā tēndē chēne mā rīkvī dhruya lā lōpañ shōjī lāngu rāng rīk pāna rāng rīk pāñi tōyā ngō māñyā wāndā mēshā rōgōs. Tsorwa sēdē ngā sō chāyā ngō wā tē ngō mā tē kāp tēgā rāng lā tsorwa khurāng ñam sō māñyā nā tē chāyā yō mā rō wā sē mā khyāwa dhūmni sōng rē.
So Parmana Vatika Dharma Kite, Acharya Dharma Kite, pointed out that recollection is solid evidence that you had a direct perception in past.
Tere ta rāng rīk yōpa hā koya lā rīkpa yā hyū tē tsorwa chāmba tere.
In order to recognize self-direct perception is the recollection of feeling, because feeling is a very grosser phenomena, grosser internal phenomena, right? So once you remembering or recollecting the past feeling, so that means there's a possibility of self-direct perceptions which experience the feeling, you know. If feeling, there's no such a things, you know, that you can recollect without you experience in past. So feeling also you can recollect, you can remember, that means self direct perception, aware that feeling, that past feeling. So through that brings memory.
Tere rāng rīk yōpa tēndē dhṛvni, tā rāng rīk ngōsum sē tē ngūn zansar lā tā pōkañ khibā tīsū nā lō lā mandāwa chenpo dhāwa chikā nī chōng rī.
There's two types of Tibetan logicians in giving definition of self-direct perception.
Chok chik ni hiba kāngdāng kāng yinpa tī khurāng kā khurāng dōnchū dā māndrī war māntrū war tōpa yō rē sī. Hiba thām chī rāng lā tēni rāng rī ngōnsum rē sī ni sōngsō chik tī tē rē.
One of Tibetan logicians that explain that whatever thoughts and mind experience that has the self-direct perception in terms of experiencing internal self-presence.
Sōngsō chik tī rāng rīk ngōnsum sē yōng tī khurāng ngōnsum yin gō rē sī. Pēr nā tōkpa tēsō rāng rīk ngōnsum mā rē sī nī.
Another Tibetan logician says that conceptual mind is not self-direct perception.
Ngōnsum sē tī tōkpa tāng trārvā chik gō rē sī. Tēne tōkpa tī khurāng tōkpa chak dā yō tī tī rāng rīk ngōnsum chak nā rīk mandū sōng kā tēndē yō rē.
So, because since direct perceptions, it should not be associated with imaginations. So that means conceptual mind should not be self-direct perceptions. So there's two types of their opinion. One says, the first one says that conceptual mind also self-direct perceptions, and second or next, another, the logician says that conceptual mind is not, not self-direct perception.
Te tanda ponni samnadana ponni semandu ta ngaso bokin kiba desu nane zo gerden bishago denji songyore.
So, according to the Gelug traditions, that conceptual mind is not self-direct perception.
Tene chugyo jamba ma chiwi dandi tere. Pena namto te rangre ngonsam res. Kaha rangre ngonsam seni korang la rangre ngonsam res. Yena namto te tene ngonsam ma res. Kore sedi namto te korang yor la tokpare te yor res. Tende yung tiga shiba ranga rang ngonsam te toya la de ranga rang toya la donchi sharmar gowa mantra vaji yovi chane rang rikpa la ngonsam res. Yena yung ngonsam ma res. Ko ngonsam yema de korang yor toksar la ta go res. De Karmapa re mang chiwi te song yor.
Rest of the Tibetan major Buddhist traditions, such as Karmapa, Karmapa, that all the conceptual mind has two aspects, awareness of external object, awareness of internal self-presence. So, even a single entity with the two aspects of aware of in terms of external experience, awareness, and internal awareness. So all the conceptual mind has two aspects.
Oh, tendere. Tatani jagari yenare, boy yenare, kibatisu nona rang kilenkana yore, melenkana yore.
Overall, there's two types of logicians, even in India and Tibet. So one side they accept the self-direct perceptions. Another don't accept self-direct perceptions.
Tani tajima ngaransu sosu dordichik semla nyaya la jango mebar mbaching khinjugu na soya de tabdewa yore. Tani tanda inchi tana yore, yapo yorore. Te karis onkor sediga tingi tangwachi te dordichi nenga so dom javni shina te shina samso.
So in order to summarize upon this topic, we will rely on the works of Jamgo Mifam Rinpoche, which is gateway to knowledge. So here he explained about these topics. So we will go with this statement.
This answer de nganamso karma kamsang daya payment thumbore dore chikpare dore.
So the explanation from Jamgo Mifam Rinpoche in gateway to knowledge is very similar and very close explanation to Kayupa.
Oh, tela kare sonse de sem shong tamche ranya sarvi ngo. Doctor mantra ba rang rikpa na rang rik ngonsam des. Song de sem shong kare yana ya ranya sarvi ngo se ranga ranya pa nyam su nyongwa tela tene donche char mergowa. Doctor yimba. Tene ranga rang ngu samba la chur meba. Tende chi wante then rao sosu nyamse nyong songwa tela raring wansum segres.
So, in Gateway to Knowledge, it is mentioned that all consciousness and mental function, mental factor, all the mind is eventually self-direct perceptions in terms of its internal experiencing phenomena or self presence by self clarity nature.
Tene terma Johnson on the Trava a Monterey Hiva Kanki Johnson. Donna, Aran Sujela Kibi Hiva Chodayovasianare, Montavasianares. Kanki Jan, T. Ranye Ransur the Yoma Zamlas. T. Koranga Koran Sarsam the Yoma De la Tene Mantra Shan Toba the Trava Yenos.
So, all the mind, whether it is mistaken mind or non-mistaken cognition, it is, self-direct perceptions in terms of internal experience, in terms of its self experiential phenomena.
Tendere, that Nasu Wansum Jete and Dore.
So, up to now, we discussed about 4 types of direct cognition, direct perception.
Teaches the Samaniva Jiba Samare.
So, now we talk about second cognitions, which is inferential cognitions.
Jiba Sama Sete Tangasu Mugnavala Sobi Mihida Nahila Sobaga Hako Mataba. Hishin is a Tashan Trawa Tendrig. Then Jumson Latene Hako go Yorimato, the Tahi Omari. Te tavi ta Jumson te manor monter vachi katane hakoya tela tene Jumson latene hakoya tela jivat samas.
When we talk about inferential cognitions, so the obscure thing, obscure phenomena which identify by logical reasons and evidences, so that is inferential cognitions, because there's a certain or there's a numbers of object or phenomena which cannot directly perceived by us. So that means we cannot directly perceive certain phenomena which obscure us, obscure phenomena, obstructed phenomena. So though it is obscure or obstructed phenomena, but through the means of logical reasons, means of solid evidences, such through one can able to exactly know about that obscure phenomena is called inferential cognitions. So whatever inferential cognition may be, it should be conceptual mind.
Tokpa seyon de karsa nga su musu mentong ka teni tuanchi gyeni tanda sosu na semla kharwa tawi lo chigla tokpa se.
Whatever conceptual mind, conceptual thoughts may be, it must be carry the imagination of external phenomena.
Ta nga su chik pek tani samla tana jiba tsama ga pe la ma chewe pe chi nang la kong song kor se di dewi ta la teni pasho la me yo bar tokpa se di ta pe la jang na ko de hyu da wo chik re.
For example, the evidences of smoke, one can know obscure, hidden fire. There's a hidden fire. So such a such a awareness, such a conviction awareness is inferential cognition.
Tang hama lomba bang chiwa tere zhongsib desu teni mitsang sosu me de shiga me jo pa nyar tang la thala do kap tindi chi teni yang pena mitsang chi ke me de chola gan do sona teni mitsang jamba la pa ta ne mitsang jamba ke na ne towa le ko na teni me long kan do ya teni me long kan do ne chik chik la me pa ya tende yin on de ta te khadi na yong ge yo chi gen de pe la de sha na re.
In ancient time, especially in nomad area, maybe, all the family used their stove for the cooking, right? In kitchen. And in their daily life, one family needs the fire, or fire. Then that family can understand that another family has a fire because smokes are coming up. So that means family who does not has a fire. So in order to get such a fire, he can or she can understand that that particular family has a fire because smoking directly seeing the smoking is there. So that means through the evidences of smoke, one can understand there's a hidden fire.
Ta sosu na ne me de she song che ta pha ta on de ma song chi ge teni tang khang bi tho la ma che to wan do sa yo ro ta to pe chi chir sim ba do wo chi tende chi thong na wa ta pha jo la me yo sa re tang ge na me de nga su sar wo chen thong ge yo ma ro ta nga su sem na me don chi khar ke yo re pha jo na de me yo sa re sam ba don chi khar ko re ti ka la pha jo na me yo ba nga su ha ko yo re yeno donche kherwa marto sarun thong yo mar te me de tala te ne yoba te hako yore deni semnal donche kherwa gore men de chi yo gere samaro yeno sosu semna kherwa na je dende pha yo ngi ba yo mar me yo yore marto deni donche se te te ro nda wo chi kherwa gore marto musun thong na je kherta ku yo mar o te da wo te la ta to pas
that particular family member who need to get a fire. So eventually he understood, he know that another family member has a fire. So such a moment, the conviction of the fire is not direct perceptions. Knowing about the fire by that particular family member is not direct perceptions. There is a imagination of fire, so that awareness is not direct perceptions; it's a conceptual mind.
다 된대 지금도 엄마 강 정어르세디 다 제파 참마세디 탐제게 더 가르세고는 키바디스 고발렘바 렌타 찍바레 텔라 녀다 차요 말.
There's no dispute about this inferential topic, inferential cognition topic, within the various logicians, Tibetan logicians, Indian logicians. There are no dispute.
옛날야 제파 참마세디 차야라 점선지 거라와 때때 점선대 간지 거래 세운데 다 키바수 양 샤탄다바마오 lep고요.
So, though there's no dispute argument about inferential cognitions, but there's a cognitions, the basis of inferential cognition, which is evidences, logical reasons. So, in terms of logical reasons, so there's a lot of dispute within great logician.
다데 차선 신나차야 코나 요마레 시험을고 같이.
So we don't need to go detailedly in this topic because it's a vast topic.
나랑서 빨추지라고 코나 비제바 데라 데네 난가 니디 창고요레.
But to understand about the theory of Dharmakirti, Paramana Vartika, right? So there's a two major point we need to understood.
직대 점선대 코랑 접고요.
First point is, whatever the valid logical reason may be, it must be established on subject.
페나 가데르세데 제 파쇼테나 마찬테 요세테나 데네 도원 정가데요와.
So the first, the reason must be established is, for example, the family has smoke, right? That moment, smoke is reason, solid evidences. Logical reason is that moment. Logical reason is smoke. So the available of smoking is there. So that first point, establishing evidences upon subject. Subject at that moment, subject is another family. Smoke is evidence, and there is another family has fire is predicates or thesis to be proven by the logical reason. Right? There's a three component. The procedure, the whole, logical reasons. Subject. 내게 숨디 쉬게.
데네
줍주. 줍주 딱 어디 숨디 이와카가 이바.
테고서 말이.
라서.
데네 니바데 캬바데레. Chabati kansede, towa yona meyo govati.
So second reason is second point is evidence follow the predicates, such evidence of smoke must be related or must be depends on the fire. So smoke always follow the fire. Without fire, there's no smoke. So these are the conditions. So that establish second reason of logical procedure.
Tela tengasu pecha machiwi nana towa yona meyo gowa tawa songka yore. Ina ta tanda tsama namdre kendre she sechi yore. Ti nalo la dreba kendre re. Ti nalo la tani tawi tak se towa ti towa kyabar bachi. Towa ti pe ngasum chir shimba tawa. O tendre chi go re se o tendre tawa song yore.
In terms of perceiving solid evidence, such smoke, so that smoke must be some very present, very appearing one. So through that, one can test or one can prove there is a fire.
O tere, tan dorna gyumsen ki goni soso la tani ngiba nden tabaji chung. Tende chi ondi ga chima janda chi ga mare senaya lo ngyorwa meba karsan hiyadan top se o tende chadi tende jeba sama gyali kya bachi.
So whatever the explanations about the inferential cognition and base of inferential cognition, which is evidences, right? Logical reasons, maybe. The important is through such solid evidences, one gain conviction, firm conviction, or cognitions about the thesis or predicates is inferential cognition.
O tere, ta te tawi gyumsen te so changsona tagyang tagre songa te jidang lopan cholang ga song yore. Ina ta te sam khasarwo dola chikchag yo samare. Ina te tena yo jipa chadang tentan la. Jipa chadang tentan la yo da menye la meba go se. Lopan cholang ga tagyang tag se di tende chik gore song ne. Jidang tagyang tag ngunzan la tende chik song yore.
So, Parmana Samuchaya, composed by Dignaga, explained there's three major, 3 points that makes correct logical reasons, correct evidences. So first one is the logical reason which established on subject, and second is logical reasons which follow the predicates or which connect to the predicates. That means stating whatever thing is reason, it necessarily to be, predicates or thesis. So that is second. And third one is whatever is not predicates to be proven is not the reasons. That means reverse identity. Reverse identity. So, for example, if not follow the if something is not connect or follow the fire, it not necessary to be the smoke. So opposite, reverse identity. So this is the third the point of logical reasons. So there's a three point of logical reasons that is correct. It makes correct reasons. First is evidence established on subject. Second is evidence must follow the predicates. And then third is the reverse opposite side, right? So whatever predicate is the opposite of predicates must be opposite of evidence. So this 3 point makes that is that something is correct reason.
다 공고 든지 송장 바텔라 코랑가 호마 드스노나 레센다만다 양가 망고 총래 대에서만다 망고 총래.
So when Dignaga explained that logical reason has a 3 character. So again, in order to explaining his statements, there's a little bit dispute among his followers.
Tene da tende gomban dewalan shokda gyora te parchu yitapa chagre khongge chokchu deji khapa ye tianzi sene da dangbo nga su jumsan traba tela chokchu se tene deji khapa ye sediga tene towa yona me yobi khapa yoba me mena towa mebi khapa se o tela khabi chringi segre tende tane chongji lang gomba de tene sursumba changi tensi chela ta anda segre sene parchu jitabi tende songre.
So though there's different opinions within the Dignaga's followers, but very extraordinary his followers such name is Dharmakirti. So Dharmakirti explained about this topic in Parmana Vatika, what exactly Dignaga mentioned in Parmana Samuchaya. So Dignaga says that whatever valid reason or correct logical has to be 3 points which we already discussed. So first one is establishment of evidence, and second is evidence follow the predicates, third is the reverse of predicates must follow the reverse of evidence. So these 3 points make such evidence is correct evidence.
tere da tende ta yang da ten la riksam da wo chigre je ta seong de tanda towa te me in de de yo bi chane ta towan jong jin ba ina ta phashon me ji yo sare samba ta de Then Ritalet any Jibatsamaki yore, Toa tin Ritachare.
So now we talk about the classification of valid reason or correct evidences. So there's a three types of correct evidence. First one is resultant evidence, so which we talk about smoke and fire.
Then Ranshinki Tagando Sion the Tanda Tagte Dan Sosu Duvia Niwote Mochik Payamba. The career said the Perna Nasu Yeling Pon the Chujans Marta de Then Renga Kivisher Ersen Penate Tower. Tikala Council or Sediga Nasu Yelengi Pon there. Then Mataba and Res. Kani City Renga Renga La Yoya. Then Sion the Joyobi Kaula Trevdo. Now Jumes on the Makiva. Then this is Yamba tea, then Matawi Ranjan Chado, the Renga Vitalatini, Mataba Boss. Teta with the Ranjan Getalatini, Mataba Hakoechi.
So second valid reason or correct evidence is single entity or evidence, single entity reasons. For example, philosophically it mentioned that whatever aggregates, form, feeling, so on, 5 aggregates, right, must be impermanent. Why? Because it is functional things, it is conditional things. So here, 3 component is aggregates is subject, impermanent is predicates or to be proven by logical reason, right? Impermanence. And then conditional things, compounded things is evidence. So that means conditional things and impermanent is single entity. There's no different entity, same essence, but different aspect, right? So that means through the logic, through the evidence of conditional things, then subject aggregates, 5 aggregates, proved the impermanent things. So this type of logical reason is second type of logical reason, second number. Lasso.
Tere. Then the Tanda Rawena, Tansan Rawena, Taton Tele, Tap Deva Rawchi. And Dishi Kari and I te the trend is Kaji Jiwa Londo Yovata, Sanriki.
So when we talk about the impermanent things and functional thing is single entity, different aspect, right? So when we talk this topic, so it is clear that whatever conditional things should be impermanent, necessary to be impermanent. Even these days, modern researchers, modern scientists, they see or experience single particles, how they change, how they function, instantly changing phenomena. So, though we as an ordinary, without examination, don't know this topic, but somehow through the reason, through the logical reasons, one can understand whatever things that is compounded or conditional things necessarily to be impermanence.
Tani ngasu dishi thamje martawa sakshi thamje dungharwa sege te yang gari sangor sidi ga saman amre ga nalo la nibi tense ta yawa she ya dunga ya sene ta ta ni ko re ta ngarang su nyenleng ga phong de chujan stene dungharwa yente gari sidi nibi ten bishasen dela tene tene margewa saya tene dela tene yang kangan chaya dorna na ko nikel mango chig jere jangdo se o yamchan chig de tere
Usually we seeing that in scripture that all the conditional thing is impermanence, all the conditional thing is suffering, not contaminated things are suffering, and emptiness, selflessness. Oftenly we hear about this statement. Also in Abhidharma, Pramana text, it mentions all the conditional thing should be suffering because all the conditional thing and contaminated things are fundamental basis of all afflicting emotion.
tene ta da me ba tan lam be ba la ta dak senare nga senare de chujan sitene ranjin gi me de phon da chig de ya me phon da ta ta bi se gi ya me we she se ya de dame de bi rikpare.
Another example of single entity reason is here. So about the selflessness, right? So here says that self is not truly existing. Self is subject. Not truly existing is predicates. And now reason is it is neither single existence of aggregates or multiple entity of aggregates. So that is evidences.
Kharsa ta nga su khon de shiva te re ta nanga rawo de gari se di pena karsa marjang kupang drum jabe thakpa rawo chi na te thakpa thawa la karo ina ya karsa ta marjang ngombo re kupate so marto jan thawo se di pha ta jawa marto nye ya me ba na je ta ngarang so ya tene Hong awande marto tene nga sechi surdinye jimevata te kogo yaro nangade.
When we talk about early sessions, that mixture robe, black robe and white robe, and once it mixed or it connect together, then it will carry the another entity, which is Tao. Karpo is white robe, Nakpo is black robe, and Tao. Tao is mixture of those two robe. So, but when we examine examine on this Tao, third entity, so we cannot found independently, because without having Karpo, white, and Napo, black, there's no independent entity of Tao. So similarly, when we examine, analyze on our existence, our the aggregates nature, so there's no single independent, truly existing of I, my, within our the aggregates.
That tendency on the Dhamma Talam baby tensi tesola marmi with tensi lakuyore.
So the these type of logical reasons, such the self is not truly exist. Why? Because it is it does not has a single entity with the aggregates or multiple entity with the aggregates. So this type of logical reason is we called non-observation logical reasons. So this is number third reason, evidence.
Then the Tomba said la Nyantu Devi looked arna. Then Ngaiva meva. Pena nga says mena ngai inko me ngai lapa me si. O koati ngaiva me pala jak ngaiva tons.
So impermanence, suffering, and selflessness and emptiness, right? So according to the Theravada traditions, there's a different explanation on the emptiness. So not similar to the Mahayana teaching. So that means emptiness of my, okay? Selflessness means selflessness is some avoidance of I, and emptiness is avoidance of free of my, okay? So free of my or devoid from my is emptiness according to Theravada tradition. My, yeah, my, ngi sira, ngi ki tongwa, ngai tongwa ra.
Te tanda kare sidi pek tani ko devondro kayor sidi ngasu moshim ki po sini pugu keji menkan la moshim si pugu zo matun kan la lapkyo. Ta ti pugu se jana yo marwa. Tende yondi moshim ki po mesondi moshim ki pe ngo mewa hakore moshim ki pe lapa mewa te ko lamsan hakoye do chadore. Te na jan dak se de mesona tene dakwa se de mewa koli layo bache.
Since not truly exists the I, then it is obviously not exist of my. One example is the women who cannot give birth. So if we talk, hypothetically, the baby of that woman, yeah. So since baby of that woman does not exist, then how we explain that baby is good or good behavior or bad behavior or tall figure explanation, whatever, not make sense, right? Similarly, one is not truly exist I, then obviously it is not exist of my. So emptiness is, devoid from, free from, free state of my belonging side.
Tene ngasu tikpa chenpu kapdawa yana, tene tongpa se de, ta ngarang tsu nandu yaga zuk chuunda tamche chu chen sita. Tongpa yende, tongpa yende, yamsa kaare se de, deso, tene mami bakcha tang, tende chigla tene, 나와 참 연비 셔서디 텐저 연비 셔서디 찍바래 텐네 나와 참 연비 셔나 랑고 동바래세 어디 특별 전부 가라 또 동바니 세디 던지치니 접해요.
So the topics of emptiness, when we talk from the point of Mahayana perspective, from Mahayana perspective, emptiness is something different explanations rather than Theravada traditions. So according to the Mahayana philosophy, that we can use the evidence here is all the functional thing is emptiness nature. So all the functional thing is subject. Emptiness nature is predicates or thesis to be proven by logical reason, right? Then logic is here, appearance or dependent origination. So all the functional thing is emptiness because all the functional thing is dependent origination. So here dependent origination or appearance is evidence.
Oh, that is marmic with answer.
So this is a third category or logical reason, which is non-observation logical reasons. Because it negates something, right?
Tatani tanganatsu perna Chinese Gondi Yenare, Durja Sembi Gondi Yenare, Lamin Amja Yenare, Tendrig Kaula, Tasosun Dana Yenare, Chitsuna Yenare, Tedan Te Yo Samba Te Tsamachaya La Zo de Ichiglong La Tengo Yore, Tesurik de la Murtu Garibata Chikarsevo. Daily young Kichehu de Yichiglong la de Yakare.
So when we practice visualization of Generasi or any other deities on top of us, so the practice of that particular is must be based on the conviction reasons which coming from transmission.
Masu Sanji Sonla, Karayor Sediga, Tene Ganga movie Zushiva de Indona Taba Juxen. Sanji Shanju Semba, Teso Sosu, Tani Mubak on Indena Yor, Jana, Degaran, Tani Yore, Sony. Long run song Yore.
So according to Buddha, his own teachings that whatever you think is exactly happening. So that means that whatever the visualization of practices must be relying on Buddha's scripture and transmissions that build up your conviction of reasons that would be influential factor towards your visualization practices.
Ngasu juk nalo la yang karis on sidiga lama ti sosu ke oji yan yana ya loma ti dane sangye rang ndo hi tang ni dane choba phya la soba daba china ngan ju rang na la ngan denye le ni te dba polin choba len sen yedong la nga lama ti kulila shuni dane ngi dba bon choba len kare so te ju rang na ngusi yore.
In the teachings of Tantra, says that if someone practitioner visualizing regard his teacher is as a Buddha, regard as a Buddha, though his teacher is ordinary teacher, but from practitioner regards him as a Buddha. So Buddha says that I will come in the form of that ordinary teacher. So your conviction, your belief does not waste, or it will definitely function.
Tela samatana tanda ngana su chisu na chani su juyo samsona tegara chani su phebni te tegara la jukyo.
So according to the Tantra, if you visualize Chenresik, then definitely Chenresik will enter to or will come to you.
Lorgi ki tawne samla tawna bhaba thome ge lo mau rang de jipchen chamba gom sora malam ta shar manjare jeni shar jawi kala jisen thukje chong ngi tendi yen rang ba de ke teni dwyen yena nga shar ja ma song se de nga tambo ni yoyo khayen se kherang ge le dog to ko man thong re ma ta nga tambo ni yoyo khayen da song.
For example, Asanga's biography, Asanga's life example. Arya Asanga made meditation about 12 years to meet Maitreya Buddha. So once he met the Maitreya Buddha, and then he said that until now, why you don't come to in front of me? So Maitreya replied that I'm always with you, but because of your obscurations, you don't see me. So that means if you wish Buddha always bless you.
Humangi kanshiri sediga Tsema charala yorkunguni yodaba chiga sosu lota machuna Tsema chak mares. Sosu nguni kyang hyaba chene gyarwa mebi lo chonsuna Tsema chakare sedere. Tende chingondi tandi pena lamin amjare Chinese gomdere dorje sembare. Tende kare gomnaya juk yobate ta tende gyumsan yangda teso tani samna tani sosu nguni ichi kisona tende gomde Tsema chakare.
So when we talk about the valid cognitions, so even though the thing is happening or thing is exactly existing, but you're confusing upon that, so it not to be valid cognitions, right? But the different reasons, different resources, once you build up the conviction and then you convince about your practice, whatever you practice may be, so because of the nature of phenomena, because the blessings of all Buddhas, and your conviction must be the valid cognition.
야야 다 마차송 디스데세 토송 이나야 저바 카히요나 당가서 니마 타마레 드니 송로나.
So time is really over. So if you have a few questions, then you can put here now, because today is a very final day.
Dear Rinpoche, thank you for teaching. And my question about how to continue to connect this knowledge with practice of meditation. For example, can you explain what kind of perception happens in our meditation in phase of dissolving?
Huh?
When we have dissolving phase, when our object of our visualization is dissolving and connect with light, and then this light, to connect with us. I don't know how to correct in English. I'm sorry. Do you understand question? So maybe I try to repeat.
You can repeat.
Repeat, yes. Может кто-нибудь помочь?
Yeah, maybe you can. Yeah.
If I understood you good, I think it is about what kind of cognition, how you call this cognition when is Dzogchen phase. Means when the object of our meditation is dissolved into us and we dissolve into space, let's say, emptiness.
Yeah.
What kind of cognition?
Okay.
Yes, it's something like this.
Okay.
Perception, yeah? Perception?
Which perception, right? Yes. Okay.
Thank you so much.
맞아. 하디서 조림 고메값수 알라디서 팀님 저다시오라. 디가서 다직 수수기 시에바시오라. 디 세마나네 카레레스. 가. 알라레.
건값.
조림 고메값수. 조림 고메값수 하디서 타마 춘일 팀시에줘라. 다디기 the gomjora.
Yeah. Chidani Cherzo Kordi Shira Hakome, Tene Chichani Sanga Sedi Shirati Chishuhia Jumare, Tene Katitis Hiwana Tishira Kandiya Hamago, Yena Kare Sedi Kiram Gokala Gom de Mancheva Sosu Tandi Jumsan Yanda Samnatani Rotamna Jiva Samachakare. You know, Zoram Gokala, Zoram Uni Sadanian, Zoram Uni Gulakena, Zoram Gokala Mancheva. The same way says you at any yarn rode, Osir says you, Osir left Sana and was on Samachakare.
Khenpo says, actually, since it is topic of Tantra, Samaya, and it's difficult to talk about commonly, so also from myself, it's a difficult point, a difficult subject to talk about this Dzogchen. However, generally, there's a two parts: the practice of generation and the practice of dissolving, right? If your practice of generation is based on logical reasons, such understanding of emptiness nature, so on, then it must be second cognition valid cognition, which is inferential cognition. Yeah, valid inferential cognitions, and the practice of the Dzogrim dissolving. So, if your practice of Dzogrim is reached to the semen means the clarity, certain level of clarity. So it must be direct perception also. So it depends on your capacity of the Dzogrim or dissolving practice. So which level you are, depends on which level you are practicing.
Yes, here. Oh. Thank you, Khenpo. I want to ask about one thing I want to name somehow. Khenpo give this example that yesterday we met Karmapa, and today we could recollect this moment. And I have this feeling, this recollecting, this blissful feeling is not happening in the past, but it's happening now. Like when you recollect, you have this experience of here and now, bliss again. And what is it? Is it like?
The Tsema itake randik trup sejora. Tikapsu pena dangong gini jukang chungwa di jik dangong Karmapa jaya tang ani jik chorwa kiba chungye se jik danda tengi do song songs. Danda ten keje she songs. Ani dandarang ani jilap chimpo chori dos. Danda ki nawa doshi chorgi dosa.
Ti mentani yongya ti karisadiga soso nalo ni kulon top cheshong tani tani yen rong part ni ya ti yong chokoyori yende.
It obviously the blessing, experience of blessing can be now also, because your intention is strong, your feelings are very strong. It goes continuously, long lasting. So recollecting yesterday, at the same time, so you can have an experience of blessing also. So both you have.
Here, the self-aware cognition, Rangrik Shepa, it's so it's knowledge which is aware of itself, and so it's a direct it's a valid cognition. But is it dual? Nidin rebeon nimere.
Okay. Rangrik Shepa ta korang da shesera Rangrik Shepa di kandara yang namjume jik nime ta nizin si jowa. Tripa ki je because di nizin di nang la res.
The Rangrik di hiba tamche la shakayore. Hiba tamche ga rang wo nyamsi nyongkore songayore. Di nizin nime ki hiba kare yana tamche la korang nyamsi nyongwa de yore.
So maybe you understood, right? Okay, I will translate for them. So, Rangrik self-cognized awareness is both the dual mind and non-dual mind.
Itself, is it dual? The Rangrik itself, is it dual or is it non-dual?
The Korangi Dogbani Kares, Yora. Rangrik Korangi Dogbani Nizira Nimeres. It has a two part,
So Rangrik he said, so Rangrik he said in the way na Kakari. Then the thing was some Jin on the Rangrik said, and did some Shanuro, didn't eat this and dragman. So Rangrik he said, Rangrik the way na, then one it on it, then you make a Hiran or Tini mean the way na, Tini don't cover it. Pachiki theatre was selling.
So Rangrik follows both dual mind, non-dual mind. Rangrik follows dual mind or non-dual mind, both. Dual mind, non-dual mind, dual.
Yes, please, once again, I didn't understand this point. So when we perceive, can mind perceive in the same time object? Can mind perceive in the same time object?
And itself.
In itself, yes.
Itself.
Like kind of works in the same time in both directions.
Both directions, yeah.
Is it possible or not? Is it like this or not?
Yes.
So in the same time, we can perceive object and we can be self-aware.
Yeah. Same time, same instant. In same instant, that mind has two aspects, that the experience of object, experience of itself. Okay. Even a single entity, single mind. For example, the conceptual mind, right? The conceptual mind of thoughts, emotion, whatever, that has two aspects. One aspect is experiencing object. Another aspect is experiencing its own nature, self-cognized presence.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Khenpo La. It's about if we practice Shina and later on maybe also make the experience of Samadhi. Did I understand it right that then the outer perceived objects, they aren't there anymore? And at the same time, what is then with our self-awareness? Is it still somehow there or also not? So maybe you could tell something about this point.
Shine.
Yeah, first Shine and practice a lot of Shine and later on Samadhi.
Samadhi.
This is now a question about Samadhi. What then?
Vipassana, you mean? Samadhi is Shine, right?
Yes, I mean it's a state through Shine you can come to Samadhi.
Okay, Lapong, you mean Lapong?
Did you understand?
Vipassana, Samadhi and Vipassana, two, right? Samadhi and Vipassana, right? Shine is Samadhi. Shine itself is Samadhi. Thing is,
well,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking about Samadhi, actually. Yeah. And what the outer objects then disappear? And what about the self-awareness then? Will it also disappear?
Tingin sila nevi kapsura. Tingin sing tachik samchi jigu tingin sila nevi kapsura. Ane chilo ki yengwasiura. Tati gaksongra, me tokiura, mewara. Tindi kala shepakorong yang mewado chaya sigora tati dito yoresa.
Shepakorong me bachak more. And the year chicken na terangla nidokro.
Yeah. Yeah. If you talk about the single-pointed meditative concentration, and then even though there's no external obstructions and dissolve all the obscurations, obstacles, but it remains on that particular object. So it has an object. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So
Sonande tamche zubanye tune nivi rana paje Gigana je balon ruba ye sivin tsulen ruwa ruwa shu